Pablo Escobar, the notorious Colombian drug lord, was killed on December 2, 1993. He was shot and killed by Colombian authorities while trying to evade capture. Escobar's death marked the end of his criminal reign, which had spanned nearly 2 decades and made him one of the wealthiest and most powerful drug traffickers in history. After his death, Escobar's family members faced various challenges and went through different paths. Some sought to distance themselves from his criminal legacy and lead private lives, while others faced legal troubles and continued to be involved in criminal activities. Over the years, the family has maintained a relatively low profile, with some members expressing remorse for the harm caused by Escobar's actions and attempting to make amends. In the years following Pablo Escobar's death, the legacy of his criminal empire continued to be felt in Colombia and beyond. The impact of his activities on society, law enforcement, and the political landscape was significant and had lasting consequences. Here are some key developments that occurred after his demise. Demise of the Medellin cartel. With the death of Escobar, the Medellin cartel, which he led, began to disintegrate. Many of its key members were either captured, killed, or went into hiding. The cartel's operations were severely disrupted, although remnants of the organization continued to operate in a reduced capacity. Law enforcement successes. The takedown of Escobar represented a major victory for Colombian law enforcement. It showcased their determination and capabilities in tackling organized crime. The Colombian government, with assistance from international partners, power shifts in the drug trade. Following Escobar's demise, power dynamics in the drug trade underwent significant changes. Other cartels and criminal organizations vied for control of the lucrative cocaine market, leading to increased violence and instability. New players emerged, and power struggles ensued, contributing to a complex and evolving landscape of drug trafficking in Colombia. Efforts in drug interdiction. The international community, particularly the United States, continued to support Colombia in its efforts to combat drug trafficking. Joint operations, intelligence sharing, and financial aid were provided to strengthen Colombia's capacity in drug interdiction. These efforts aimed to disrupt the flow of illicit drugs and weaken criminal networks. Social and economic impact. The legacy of Pablo Escobar's criminal activities had a profound social and economic impact on Colombia. The violence and instability associated with the drug trade resulted in loss of life, displacement of communities, and widespread corruption. It also left a scar on the nation's image and hindered economic development in certain regions. Tourism and pop culture. In recent years, Colombia has seen an increase in tourism related to the fascination with Pablo Escobar's story. Visitors are drawn to sites associated with his life and criminal activities. Although the government has actively promoted a broader image of the country's rich cultural heritage and natural beauty. Additionally, Escobar's story has been depicted in numerous films. Lessons learned. The era of Pablo Escobar highlighted the need for comprehensive strategies to combat organized crime, including addressing the root causes of drug trafficking, strengthening law enforcement and judicial systems, and investing in social development and alternative economic opportunities. Colombia's experience has informed efforts in other countries facing similar challenges. Narco-tourism. The phenomenon of narco-tourism emerged in Colombia following Escobar's death. Some visitors are attracted to locations associated with his life, such as his former properties, the infamous narco tours of Medellin, and the Medellin cartel's historical sites. While controversial, narco-tourism has generated economic opportunities and raised questions about the ethics of profiting from a criminal legacy. Narco-culture influence. The legacy of Pablo Escobar and the Medellin cartel continues to have a significant influence on popular culture, both in Colombia and globally. Escobar's life and criminal exploits have been the subject of books, documentaries, and television series, further cementing his status as a notorious figure. Continued challenges. Despite significant efforts to combat drug trafficking, Colombia still faces challenges in eradicating the illegal drug trade completely. Other criminal organizations have risen to prominence, perpetuating violence, corruption, and drug production. The fight against organized crime remains an ongoing battle for Colombian authorities. Asset recovery and reparations. In an attempt to dismantle the criminal empire and compensate victims, authorities have pursued asset recovery measures. Confiscated properties, vehicles, and other assets associated with Escobar and the Medellin cartel have been seized. Public opinion and reconciliation. The legacy of Pablo Escobar continues to evoke strong emotions and debate within Colombian society. While some still view him as a Robin Hood-like figure who helped the poor, The majority recognizes the immense harm caused by his criminal activities. Reconciliation efforts aim to address the complex feelings and heal the wounds inflicted during Escobar's reign. Historical documentation. The archival documentation and testimonies related to Pablo Escobar and the Medellin cartel have provided valuable insights into the workings of organized crime and drug trafficking networks. Researchers, journalists, and historians continue to delve into the intricate details of Escobar's life and the broader impact of the drug trade. International cooperation. The fight against drug trafficking and organized crime requires international cooperation. Colombia has collaborated with other countries, particularly the United States, to share intelligence, conduct joint operations, and support efforts to combat drug trafficking at a global level. Societal resilience and transformation. The people of Colombia have shown resilience in the face of the challenges posed by Pablo Escobar and his criminal empire. Communities affected by violence and drug trafficking have come together to rebuild and create positive change. Grassroots initiatives, community programs, and collective action have played a crucial role. Government reforms. The Colombian government has implemented various reforms aimed at combating organized crime and strengthening the rule of law. These reforms are focused on improving law enforcement capabilities, enhancing intelligence gathering and sharing, implementing stricter regulations to prevent money laundering and illicit financial activities. Social programs, recognizing the importance of addressing socioeconomic factors that contribute to criminal activity. The Colombian government has implemented social programs aimed at providing opportunities for vulnerable populations. These programs focus on education, job training, and community development aimed to break the cycle of poverty and reduce the appeal of illegal activities. International assistance. Colombia has received significant international assistance in its efforts to combat drug trafficking and organized crime. Support from organizations such as the United Nations and the European Union have included funding, technical expertise, and capacity building to strengthen law enforcement, promote human rights, and address drug-related issues from a holistic perspective. Extradition of criminals. The Colombian government has actively pursued the extradition of key criminals involved in drug trafficking and organized crime. Extradition agreements with various countries have allowed for the prosecution of high-profile criminals involved in healing and reconciliation. Colombia has embarked on a journey of healing and reconciliation, acknowledging the human sacrifice of Pablo Escobar. Through truth-seeking initiatives, memorialization efforts, and support for victims, the country aims to foster a sense of justice, remembrance, and unity, while working towards a future free from the shadows of the past. International image. Colombia has made significant strides in transforming its international image, shifting the focus from its association with drug trafficking and violence to highlighting its cultural heritage, natural beauty, and economic potential. Tourism campaigns and international events have showcased Colombia's diverse offerings, attracting visitors and investment to contribute to the country's development. Strengthened security forces. The Colombian security forces, including the police and military, have undergone significant improvements in training, equipment, and coordination. This has resulted in enhanced capabilities to combat organized crime, dismantle criminal networks, and protect the population from threats posed by drug trafficking and other illegal activities. Enhanced cooperation with neighboring countries. Recognizing the transnational nature of drug trafficking, Colombia has prioritized cooperation with neighboring countries to effectively tackle the flow of illicit drugs across borders. Joint operations, intelligence sharing, and coordinated efforts have been instrumental in disrupting criminal networks and seizing drug shipments. Alternative development programs. Colombia has implemented alternative development programs aimed at providing viable economic alternatives to illicit crop cultivation, such as coca. These programs promote sustainable agriculture, agro-industrial projects, healing and reconciliation. Colombia has embarked on a journey of healing and reconciliation, acknowledging the deep scars left by the era of Pablo Escobar. Through truth-seeking initiatives, memorialization efforts, and support for victims, the country aims to foster a sense of justice, remembrance, and unity, while working towards a future free from the shadows of the past. International image. Colombia has made significant strides in transforming its international image, shifting the focus from its association with drug trafficking and violence to highlighting its cultural heritage, natural beauty, and economic potential. Tourism campaigns and international events have showcased Colombia's diverse offerings, attracting visitors and investment to contribute to the country's development. Strengthened security forces. The Colombian security forces, including the police and military, have undergone significant improvements in training, equipment, and coordination. This has resulted in enhanced capabilities to combat organized crime, dismantle criminal networks, and protect the population from threats posed by drug trafficking and other illegal activities. Enhanced cooperation with neighboring countries. Recognizing the transnational nature of drug trafficking, Colombia has prioritized cooperation with neighboring countries to effectively tackle the flow of illicit drugs across borders. Joint operations, intelligence sharing, and coordinated efforts have been instrumental in disrupting criminal networks and seizing drug shipments. Alternative development programs. Colombia has implemented alternative development programs aimed at providing viable economic alternatives to illicit crop cultivation, such as these programs promote sustainable agriculture, agro-industrial projects. The legacy of Pablo Escobar, in the era of his criminal empire, continue to shape Colombia's present and future. The efforts to dismantle organized crime, address the social and economic consequences, and promote peace and reconciliation have been ongoing and multifaceted. Colombia has made significant strides in strengthening its institutions, enhancing law enforcement capabilities, and fostering international cooperation to combat drug trafficking and organized crime. The resilience and determination of the Colombian people have played a crucial role in overcoming the challenges posed by illegal immigration policies and initiatives of government reforms. Colombia has shown a commitment to creating a safer and more prosperous society for its citizens. However, the fight against organized crime is an ongoing battle because of the challenges and criminal dynamics inherent in Colombia's social development, and economic opportunities, especially addressing the root causes of criminal activities and creating a more inclusive and equitable society. Colombia's journey towards healing and reconciliation starts with the grounded in the devastating effects of organized crime, justice, remembrance. Colombia strives to build a future that is the road ahead may be challenging, but with sustained efforts, international collaboration, and a commitment to the values of justice and security, Colombia has the potential